everybody. Tis I again. I want to talk about alcoholism and how it affects the family. I understand there's certain people that say, well, I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink as much as so and so. And that's what my dad used to say too. And I thought, well, let's talk about it. My dad probably was the absolute worst case of alcohol abuse that I've ever had the unfortunate experience of witnessing. Now, this is back since I was little. He stopped drinking and then he took up drinking again. So he wasn't present for my life as a teen. But as I got older, had to deal with his drinking. And I'll just tell you some of the things he did. If he was still alive, he would tell you and confirm all of this. So my dad's drinking was so bad. He was a firefighter and he still went to work. While he was at work, he would primarily eat ice cream. And that's pretty much it. He needed something to coat his stomach because he worked 24 on, 48 off. So when he was done with his 24-hour shift, he'd go home and drink. And we're talking a case of beer, a bottle of clear liquor, which tequila or something like that. And then that was it. And so for 48 hours, he drank. When I saw my dad after being in the military for a little while, I had my family, and then we went home to see him. My dad was 6'2", and he weighed 130 pounds. So I was so shocked, I didn't even know what to do. I eventually got him into a rehab detox facility, then nursing homes and this and that. But the parts that I haven't filled in prior to this was what it was like growing up with someone who was not present. And I can say it was tough when you have a dad who is not close with you. It affects you in many, many ways, especially as a young girl. My aunt, my mom's sister-in-law, told me when I was as young as 3 and 4 years old, I would cling on to my uncles, etc., because my dad pretty much ignored us when we were little. And so I had an overwhelming need for affection. And I will be the first to tell you, I was not touched as a child. It didn't, there was no crossing of that line. So I'm very fortunate that I was not vulnerable to any type of predators inside of my family. And it just didn't happen. But the situation, if you have a child and you are an alcoholic or a drug addict and you are not close with your children, you don't hug them, kiss them, and you don't have a healthy relationship, they are the first ones that fall prey to people that mean them harm. I know I'm not going to wake you up or say you should smell the coffee or stop drinking, but it's a predicament. I'm going to let you know that it's when someone's an addict or an alcoholic, their love for their vice is stronger than their love for you or anyone else. The alcohol or drugs they use run through their system and allow them to continue living, even if that life is less than. Their body is completely dependent on their substance because without it, they will go through withdrawals physically, mentally, emotionally, and then they will have to face the pain of why they're using. And I'll be the first to admit my dad wasn't perfect, but gosh, I loved my dad. I took care of my dad. And in the end, when he was sober, which does not always happen, I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass and tell you that your person, your loved one, is going to stop using. There's no way to know. It's their decision. In my dad's case, he was so heavily medicated, living in a locked ward of a nursing home, that he couldn't even get up to use the bathroom. He looked like skin and bones laying in a bed. He needed a nursing assistant to turn him over. So that was the reason why my dad stopped drinking, is because he woke up out of that. We got him into the ER. They had to detox him off of all the meds, and then he woke up, and then he finally broke that addiction. But when he was better, man, he was the best. Generous, kind, loving. He was my cheerleader, my confidant. He had apologized because he knew that he had failed miserably as a father, and I forgave him. I miss him every single day. And I'll tell you, I'm grateful for my dad because through him I felt normal. I thought, my gosh, if he can admit that he failed and had a lot of shortcomings and lost out on time, I know that I can admit too that I was not perfect either. The biggest regret I have is alcohol stole years from my life as a child. It robbed me of an opportunity to have a relationship with my dad from early on. So this is not going to stop anyone from drinking. My story is not going to probably cause someone to wake up and say, I'm going to put the bottle down or put the pipe down or stop whatever it is they're doing that causes them harm. But this is for the son or daughter of a user. I went to Al-Anon. I got help. I built my value. I learned how to set boundaries with my dad, and I released him. I was not Jesus. I was not put on this earth to heal and save people. I had to do that for myself. So anyways, I hope this helps. I'm on my soapbox today, and I whatever I can do to help other people, that's what I'm here for. So thanks for listening, and I will be back.